Hello and welcome to the video for 6th grade for March the 31st. This is Mr. Parks. Please stay tuned at the end of the video for a special announcement for parents. I hope everyone's had a wonderful spring break and it was a restful and enjoyable time for everyone. We do miss you all dearly at school, and please know that the parents and teachers and staff are all praying for you guys, and hope that everything is going well and you stay safe during this time. So let's go ahead and take a look at our problems for today. We were working with doing absolute values. So some of this will be kind of in a number sense type of, and then some of it will just be practicing what absolute value means for us as we're working with numbers, especially in real world situations with money. So let's take a look at which statement is true. So let's look at our options. Letter A is the value of a positive number increases, the absolute value decreases. That is not correct, because the further we get from 0, the larger the absolute value is, whether we're getting larger numbers or we're getting smaller numbers. So as the value of a positive number decreases, absolute value increases. That's not correct. That would be if a negative number. As the value of a negative number increases, the absolute value decreases. So this one is true. As the value of a negative number decreases, the absolute value decreases. So by the value of a negative number increasing, that means we are getting closer to getting back to 0. So that would be letter C. And if I could get this right. There we go. Number 4, which is not a true statement. So negative 5 is greater than the absolute value of 5. Well, the absolute value of any positive or negative number is going to be its distance from 0. It's always going to be a positive number. So this one cannot be true. The absolute value of negative 5 is equal to 5. That is true. Oh, sorry, we want the one that's not true. So this one is the one that's not true. Negative 5 and positive 5 absolute values are worth the same, and an absolute value of 5 is greater than negative 5. Number 5, Tamara received a credit of $25 at the yarn store. What amount can she spend using this credit? So let's say that I have a gift card that has $25 on it, and I can only spend that amount or less. So the only one that would work for that would be letter D, which is $20. Number 2, again, we're looking for which one is not a true statement. So Pedro has negative $24.50 in his bank account. John has negative $33.75. Which one is not true? So the balance in Pedro's account is greater than the balance in John's account. Technically, this is true because even though both of them have a debt, Pedro's debt is less than the amount that John has. So his bank account is closer to being in the good or having a positive number than John's. Pedro's debt is less than John's debt. This is also true. John owes more than Pedro. This is also true. John's account is closer to 0 than Pedro's account. That is false. So he is about $9.25 farther away from 0 than Pedro is. Number 3, a diver is exploring a cave at negative 45 feet. How many feet below the surface is the diver? 45. We'll have a question later on that talks about depth as we work with that. Use the number line below. Which point represents the number with the greatest absolute value? So we want the furthest from here. So this letter C is 3 parts away. Letter B is 4 parts away, letter D is 8 parts away, and letter A is 9 parts away. So A, it would be our one that has the greatest absolute value. Number 11, here's our one that was talking about depth. So our elevation is going to have to do with how far above or below the ground we are. So depth is equal to the elevation. So if our bracelet is negative 2.3 meters, that means it's 2.3 meters below the ground. So the depth would be 2.3 meters. So we're going to use absolute value and say how far it is below the ground by using that. So the coins would be 2.9 meters and the clay pot would be 1.8 meters. And our last one, number 14, Paul's account balance is less than negative $50. What is a possible balance? Anything below negative $50.01 would work, because once we are going in that direction, that would satisfy our inequality of having less in the bank account than negative $50. Part B, does Paul's account balance represent a debt? It does represent a debt of greater than $50, not less than. And again, if I said that we had negative $75, that is going to be $75 of debt compared to just $50 of debt. So that should help explain that particular part. So now for our announcement, I will be doing additional videos starting next week. There will be a packet that goes home, so parents, please check your email regarding that. I will be using a combination of new lessons for Go Math as well as some additional practice material. Later on, I may also send pages from the Ohio Performance Coach math book home to be able to use that for review as well. Each day that there is a new lesson for Go Math, I will be doing a video to help teach that lesson, but students will also have the opportunity to use the Go Math online activities, including the online lessons, to be able to work through things as well. So trying to give more options, but also give the opportunity for students to work along with me through the lesson in their book. The online portion is not required, but it can be helpful for students, especially as they're working with new tasks, which we will start doing next week. Hope everyone had a great day and everyone is staying safe and healthy. I will see you all tomorrow.